Hello, welcome to March 23rd, 2025. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation. This is an exercise that I do each and every day, a little bit after waking up, to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use the time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with the challenges and the opportunities that I met. I plan for the coming day, I ready myself for death, and I get underway. But first, let me begin with a few notes. First, the quality of this video may be very lacking. I'm doing this from home. Still don't have internet here. I'm using the pocket Wi-Fi, and I know that the internet connectivity is poor, so apologies for that. Also, I want to welcome new YouTube subscribers. Yesterday was an amazing day of new subscribers. There's so many of you. As such, I want to thank you for joining, and I want to give you a caution that this particular video, although it's taking place in Japan, that is a Japanese bamboo forest right behind me in my backyard. I'm not necessarily talking about Japan in this video. This is my personal journal video. I do this every day at roughly this time, usually a little bit earlier. I'm running a little bit behind today. My phone died last night, and I didn't get up on time. So just to let you know that this isn't a Japan-related video necessarily. This is a journal video, so you can watch if you like and leave comments, but just so you know. Also, I do talk about subjects that are sensitive to some people, namely death. So if you don't like hearing that, you might want to just be aware. Oh, thank you for the feedback that the quality is good. Thank you. I normally don't read or respond to comments until I'm done, but I did see that and I wanted to. I appreciate that. I give that comment a proper look because there was more to it than that. Right now, Kurt, it's great you're getting more and more followers to the channel. Thank you, Stunt Monix. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, yesterday was an amazing day. Wow, so many people. Anyway, thank you. So let's get to it. I wanted to say welcome and a disclaimer and thank you for your support. Those of you who watch my videos, support my endeavors, and a particularly big thanks to my Patreon, to the YouTube members and my Patreon supporters. Usually I do this at a Japanese convenience store where the funds that are generated by these videos are used to buy my coffee. I'm not there today. Like I said, I got a late start, so I'm doing this from the balcony of my home. This is the home that we bought here, and I'm glad to hear the quality is working. Good, I can use this in a pinch until we get the internet connected. So I'm going to go over three things now. The last 24 hours, I'll talk about my creed, the 8 objectives of my creed, just so I remind myself of them. That I'm not. This isn't like I'm not like sharing to promulgate the creed to the world. This is me saying, okay, Kurt, what am I aligning myself to? What am I going to try to do today? What constitutes a good life today? And these are the 8 things. That's all it is. I'll get to that in a second, and then I'll talk about what I plan to do today. First, yesterday, there's only one. I always keep a notebook for every day, and today's notes identify one thing of note yesterday. What I'm usually doing is I'm looking for whatever it was that happened yesterday that was a challenge or an opportunity, and I ask myself, how did I meet that challenge or opportunity? Did I meet it well? Did I maintain my composure? Did I manage my emotions? Was I reasonable in my expectations? How was the outcome? Is the outcome in alignment with my life objectives, the objectives of my creed, etc.? So, and usually there's just 2 or 3 things that usually come up. This was a big one. I encountered a deep and visceral hatred, isn't too strong a word, yesterday that really caught me off guard. Here's the thing, and I'll be very careful not to trespass on anyone's privacy. Since I came back to Japan, which has been a little over 3 months now, I'm retired now. By the way, if you're new to the channel, I'm 60 years old. I'm retired. I'm an American. I'm married to a 60-year-old retired Japanese woman. We live here in the Valley of Tea. Looks more like the Valley of Bamboo, here in Shizuoka, Japan. Our daughter Emily is 24 years old, living in Tokyo, pursuing her career there. Raised her half in Japan, half in America. There you go. That's me. Since I retired, though, and since I came back to Japan, I keep, twice now, I've encountered work rises before me. First of all, I was asked to fill in as an English teacher a few weeks back for a friend that has a school here and needed some help. And I did that once and realized, no, I don't want to ever do that again. I used to live in Japan, and I've done the English teaching gig, and I do not like teaching English at all. And I thought that, and so I made arrangements to not have to do that, found somebody else to do it. I thought initially that it was the fact of English teaching that I was so repulsed by. Turns out it was not teaching, but work itself. Another opportunity came my way. It seems like when you're retired, there's a kind of a vacuum there that life seems to try to fill in some way. So another non-English teaching not work opportunity of a sort arose, and I was basically invited yesterday to come to someone's house here in Shizuoka. I thought it was more of a social thing, and it was partial. It was a social event masked as an opportunity to try to get me involved because I'm foreign, to help this person's business venture overseas. Person's a very successful businessman who doesn't speak any English and has ideas about extending his business overseas. I'm hesitating here because I know what's going to happen. Probably going to be someone out there that's going to watch this video and say, "Hey, send me his information." I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get engaged in this at all. This guy's, he's got ways that he can do it, and I'm not going to be that conduit. So if you watch this and you're thinking, and you get the idea of contacting me and asking me to give you his contact information, I'm sorry, I won't do that. That's why I had to pause and think real quick. How would I handle that? Yeah, no. I did that with the English teaching thing. That was different. This person doesn't need it. This person's quite capable of doing it on their own. So anyway, I came away yesterday from that discussion, and as I was driving home, I was that day that I spent a social day at that guy's house, a central morning, and I came away and I realized, damn it, I feel like I've been set up. I was set up with a social engagement masked as an opportunity to basically, and I'm choosing these words quite deliberately, to lure me into getting involved in work again. It was done in that way. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not as, with the English teaching thing, that was a dear friend of mine. I mean, someone I've known for decades who was in a pinch. And even though I didn't want to teach English, if she hadn't found somebody else to do it, I would have done it for her just to help her out. This is not the case. This is someone who's very successful, who really did use, I thought were disingenuous mechanisms to try to get me involved. But maybe that's just the Japanese way, but I didn't like it. And I came away with a very sour sense of that experience. And maybe that was what fueled and opened the door for the hatred that I revealed in me, the hatred that I feel towards work. I mean, and why is that? Why do I feel so much? Because I hate the fact that I spent 40 years of the best years of my life, at the grindstone doing stuff that I hate so much. Now, I don't have any other alternative. I don't know a better path, maybe entrepreneurship. Probably those of you who watch this video can each of you think of 3 better ways to spend your lives than slaving away at a career that you didn't like all your life, pretending that you did kind of like it just to get by and fulfill your commitments. There, I said it in a nutshell. That's why I hate it, and I don't ever want to do that again. I don't care if it's, I don't care what it is. I'm lucky to be in a position now that I don't have to do it anymore. I'd rather be here. I'd rather spend time in my backyard, in my bamboo forest, and gardening, and spending time with my wife, and walking in the Valley of Tea up there. There's so many things. I mean, I'm 60 years old. I've only got 6.5 good years left, statistically, before my health is going to start giving out. And I mean, screw that. I mean, to hell with it. No. So I'm really grateful for this visceral feeling. This is not a case where I would chastise myself for letting my emotions bubble to the top in an inappropriate manner. This is not an inappropriate manner. This is revealing, for example, this is me taking a bite of a poison mushroom and the bitter taste of the mushroom going, "Blah, blah, blah, this is gross. I don't ever want to eat that again." This is saving myself. And this is me realizing now, because it's going to happen again now that I'm retired. It seems like every time someone finds out, it's the first thing that people ask me here. And the guy, my neighbors across the river did the same thing. As soon as they find out that I've got all this free time, people are like trying to help me find ways to fill the time. I don't need anybody's help finding ways to fill the time. Sure, I am struggling a little bit with it, but this is a challenge that I'm more than up to the task of figuring out. I will fill my time quite well. I have lots of interesting things to do and pursuits. So anyway, so what am I going to do about this? Well, if you had this guy that had me over yesterday, he would have no reason to think about how I'm feeling and what I'm expressing to you right now. And I know he won't see it because he doesn't speak any English at all. So he doesn't know. I was very polite. I was very upfront. But I'm going to write a very tactful, and then have ChatGPT help translate it for me, tactful email, drawing a line saying, because I stupidly committed to help him with one thing. And I can do that. I'll do that. Jesus. Idiot. I'll help him with that one thing, it's free of charge, and then I'm going to say, this is it, this is the end of the line, because no more. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this is where, if you hear me say like hashtag a particular word, I'm using my principles to help retune my life. I'm going to hashtag use reason and hashtag the social principle to prepare myself and arm myself for when this happens again. Because this is the second time it's happened in 3 months. And I'm going to tune myself to basically say no whenever these opportunities come up, when work opportunities come up here in Japan. No. And as politely and as kindly as possible. I don't want to do that. No. And I kind of came up with a way to say it. I don't know how to say it in Japanese, but the way I would say it in English is, I've done my lifetime of work. I did my 40 years. I'm not going to say that. That's too stupid. I mean, it's exactly what I mean. But here's what I'm going to say. I'm done with work. I'm retired now, and I don't do things that feel to me like work. And this feels like work. I'm not going to do it. Thank you I hope you can find somebody else to do it. I'm not going to do it. And that's just what I'm going to do. So I got my strategy, I got my thing, I'm going to write an email to the guy and say that, and I'm sure it'll go over very strange. But I figured if he was so bold as to engage me so directly, and I understand now probably that's why he's mostly retired, successful businessman. And that was something else that came to mind. Look at his place yesterday, which was an enormous house overlooking Shizuoka. It reminded me of that one mansion I've told you guys about in the past that I was invited to here in Shizuoka, the biggest house in Japan outside of Tokyo. But he wasn't that guy, and he wasn't in that same business. Not that I think of. Although now I'm starting to wonder. Whoops, I forgot that chair was there. Oh my gosh, I'm getting nervous just thinking that might be possibly the case. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Could that be the case? The similarities are astonishing. Remember the guy, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to say the words out loud. You'll have to get my innuendo, guys, but the story that I've told on this story before, that guy that had me over to his house, it was exactly the same. The big, powerful man sitting at the table with the foreigner, courting the foreigner for information, while his attentive, very Japanese wife floated around the table serving coffee and sweets. It's exactly what happened yesterday. In exactly the same, another giant house on a hill, empty of all artifice of human. It didn't feel like, a homey place. It felt like a showroom, exactly like that place 10 years ago that I was at. Could it be the same? Could it be just another version of the same? In which case, I really need to distance myself from that. Ooh, yeah. Okay, way off target. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to come up with a way, a frame of mind, a trigger in my mind that I realize that this is another case where work opportunity is coming my way. I'm going to be very politely say, no, thank you. I don't work anymore. You know, look at my outfit. I don't work anymore. I garden. I do this, that, and the other thing. So that's that. I would say that I handled that yesterday because usually I score things. How did I handle that yesterday? I didn't realize. Well, I didn't realize what I was getting myself into when I got there. I should have known better. I handled it well. Otherwise, in the moment I couldn't have handled it any better than I did. Right. So I'm going to relieve myself of the need to score this one. This one's too hard. So let's go over the 8 objectives of the Creed. They are as follows: to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions, to recognize my true limits and true opportunities, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly, deliberately, and carefully, and to keep my balance. All right, for today, the only thing that's on my agenda today is that Yumiko, my wife, and Yoko, her sister, and I are going to go to an antique store, a Minge Crafts antique store here in Shimizu that apparently is an old apartment that has been refurbished as an antique store. So, excuse me, you go to an apartment building and you go inside and it's an antique store. So we're looking for craft and Minge craft items to help furnish our little house here that we recently bought, and we're in the process of, you know, making our own. And with that, I'll be done. Let me see if there's any comments that I need to respond to. Raymond asked, what did you think about semiconductor engineering in jobs in Japan? Sounds like work to me. So my answer to that is hell no. Erica says, hi Kurt, hope you have a good day. Thank you, Erica. Well, maybe Raymond, maybe you're not asking about what do I think about it for me. For me, it's a solid hell no. Although it's funny because 2 days ago I had lunch with a semiconductor engineer here in Japan. Interesting coincidence. At first when I saw your message, I was thinking, is that him? Stuart, is that you? Anyway, if you're asking about for yourself or somebody else, I simply don't know. I don't know, and I don't care anymore about the employment scene in Japan. So you need to find somebody that knows. And Thunder Turtle, howdy, folks. Hi, Thunder Turtle. I hope there's more messages. I hope you have a good day. And he had a beautiful daughter, Rockpile. I'm not sure who you're referring to. Daughter, I'm young though. Oh, Raymond. Okay, so Raymond. Are you thinking about becoming a semiconductor engineer in Japan? I think it can be done. I actually had lunch with a semiconductor, like I said, a foreigner, a Scotsman, who is a semiconductor engineer who has his own company and is moving he and his company to Japan. So it can certainly be done. I met one 2 days ago that's doing it. So anyway, I'm going to sign off for now, everybody. What a beautiful day. I'll start the day, and I'll hopefully have some good clips to show you for the Retiring in Japan series, if you are following that series. Thunder Turtle says, I think your videos are a prime example of when you tape a lot of stuff and you can refer to nostalgia memories whenever you want. Yeah, I think that is the case. It's fun. I'm finding increasingly that I've got videos of those old memories too. Okay, take care, everybody. Have a great day. Be safe, but not too safe. Bye-bye.